Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 12 of Library News from Home with Mrs. Roberts-Bray. I have lots of fun things to share with us today, so let's get started. The first thing is what I'm reading. If you'll remember, last week I talked about Harbor Me, written by Jacqueline Woodson, and I finished that. It was amazing. Oh, just this amazing story about these 6 students who connected and supported each other, and it was beautiful. But I've recently started Bayou Magic by Jewel Parker Rhodes, and I just started it. It's only about 2 chapters in. So it's about a girl named Maddie, and she is going down to stay with her family in the Bayou, which is down in southern Louisiana area, which is where she is. And so she's staying with her grandmother, and she stays there to visit other family, get to know them a little bit for the summer. And she has all kinds of adventures, of course. As I said, I'm only 2 pages in, but this is what it says on the back, and this is why I was kind of excited about it. At first, she misses a life home in the city, but she grows to love everything about her new surroundings, the glimmering fireflies, the glorious landscape, and something else deep within the water that only Maddie could see. Could it be a mermaid? As her grandmother shares wisdom about sayings and signs, Maddie realizes she may be the only sibling to carry on her family's magical legacy. And when a sudden disaster threatens the bayou, she knows she may also be the only one who can help. So, an awesome sounding great story with a little bit of magical twist in there. And I was really kind of drawn to it because when you talk about going down to the bayou for summer vacation, as she said, the fireflies, that warm air, I am excited for summer. I am ready for summer to come. I'm ready for warmer weather. And so this kind of was appealing to me at this time also. So I'll talk a little bit more about this next week probably, because I will probably get pretty close to it for next week to finish it. What else I have to share with you today is this week, Friday, May 15th, is Endangered Species Day. Endangered species are species of animals that live in our world that are being threatened and have the opportunity to, well, not opportunity, that's not a good word, but have the misfortune, I guess that's a better word, the misfortune of almost being extinct. So when an animal is endangered, it means that it is on its way to extinction. And extinction means that it will no longer exist in our world. And so this Friday, May 15th, is Endangered Species Day. And it is a day to recognize those animals that are endangered, to celebrate them, and to hopefully make a difference and see what we can do about getting some of those animals off of the endangered species list. One of the books that I have at home here that we love is called Don't Let Them Disappear, written by Chelsea Clinton and illustrated by Gianna Marino. And it is about 12 endangered species across the globe. And I love this book because in the beginning it talks a little bit about the different levels of extinction, so to speak, or endangered. So there is not vulnerable is the first one. And that means that most animals, though every year more species are added to the categories below, but not vulnerable means that they're all over the place. Like dogs. Dogs are a species that are not vulnerable because they're all over the place. Nearly vulnerable animals are on their way to having fewer than 10,000 animals left. Vulnerable means that they do have 10,000 animals left in the whole world. Endangered means that they have fewer than 2,500 animals left in the world. Critically endangered means they have less than 250 animals left in the world. Extinct in the wild means that they're only animals that living in that species are in captivity, like in a zoo. And then extinction means that there are no remaining animals of that species on Earth. So different levels. I like how that gives a little bit of an explanation at the beginning of this story. And then it goes on to talk a little bit about these 12 animals. It gives us a little bit of information. And then down here it tells us where they live, their endangered status, and why they're endangered. And so it kind of goes through, again, beautiful illustrations. Oh, look at that little gorilla with his mama there. Super cute. Oh, and the blue whale, such a beautiful whale. So a great story that we have in both our Riverview and our Red Granite libraries for when you come back in the fall to see us, that you could definitely check out. But I want to connect this a little bit to a digital resource. You know, I always like to share things that you can do online. And so online, there is a website called endangered.org. And so if you go to endangered.org, on there, there's a bunch of information, some different charities you can contribute to if you're interested, different fundraisers you can do if you're working together with a community organization and you're looking to give back a little bit. But it also talks a little bit about this Friday being Endangered Species Day. And one of the things that I think is super cool is that they have a Facebook page. The Endangered Species Day group has a Facebook page. And so every day this week, they are doing a read-aloud about an endangered animal, which I think is super cool. So you have that opportunity to go onto their Facebook page and, again, tune into those read-alouds and learn a little bit more about some of the animals that are endangered in our world. There are other activities on here that you can do. There's some coloring pages you could print off. So, again, it is endangered.org. And let's see. Where are we there? Okay. So here's, again, and then there's some suggestions and other ideas of things that you can do to help our endangered animals. So again, I know kind of hard to see there, but endangered.org is the website. And I'll maybe put a screenshot of that in there too for our video so that you have that as a reference also if you'd like to go on and learn a little bit more about some of the animals that are endangered in our world. For our read aloud today, I actually have two stories to talk a little bit about. Continuing on with our animal theme, not endangered animals though, are my good friends from Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type, and Doobie, Doobie, Moo. Those silly farm animals with Duck at the Farm. They are written by Doreen Cronin and illustrated by Betsy Llewellyn. And I think that these animals, of course, are just hilarious. They get into all kinds of crazy adventures. And this book is published by Scholastic. So this is the story I'm going to read aloud to us today. Click, clack, moo, cows that type. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Let me slide over a little bit. There we go. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. The cows left him a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. It was bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? Huh, no way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold, too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk, no eggs. Now the chickens are in on it. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strikes. Whoever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. A neutral party means he's not really on any other side. He's kind of in the middle. So the duck's going to work between the cows and the hens and Farmer Brown. Try to negotiate. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with a typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Are they all nice and cozy now in the barn that they have their electric blankets? Silly cows and chickens. The next morning, Farmer Brown got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Oh no! Duck was supposed to take the typewriter to Farmer Brown, but instead... Oh, that silly duck. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety-clack, quack. Did Farmer Brown give in at the ending there? Looks like they did, in fact, get a diving board. So those animals at the farm are hilarious. They get into all kinds of mischief. This book, the Doobie Doobie Moo, they go to the fair and they enter into a singing contest because they want to be able to win. So we've got Doobie Doobie Moo and then Ba Ba Fa La 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 Ba. And then, who's the other ones? The pigs. Oh yes, the pigs do an interpretive dance. So this is a great story, great series, those animals. There's also a couple other one. Duck Goes to School, I think that's a good one. There's a couple more also by this author and illustrator. And actually, Doreen Cronin is very active on social media. So again, if your family's on Facebook or on Instagram, you can search Doreen Cronin, the author there. And she is very involved on social media. And during this time at home, she has actually been doing many read-alouds and talking a little bit about her characters and how she gets inspired as an author. So if your family would like to search her on social media, you can learn a little bit more about these crazy farm animals that they do. So we are ending today's library news, and we are looking forward a little bit because it's the middle of May already. I cannot believe it. If we were at school, we'd be getting ready to wrap up and return library books and get ready for the end of the year to go home for the summer. So we're already home, but we are still getting ready to sort of wrap up the year. So we will have maybe one, maybe two more episodes of library news this year yet before our summer break. And I will be talking a little bit about summer reading bingo. Last summer, remember, Mrs. Roberts-Bray gave you the challenge of a reading bingo card to be able to read at home over the summer to keep our brains thinking and smart so when we come back in the fall, we are ready and raring to go. I'm going to do that again. It's going to look a little bit different, obviously, since we weren't at school to get the bingo cards. So it's going to look a little bit different, but we are still going to have some kind of reading challenge over the summer for us to be able to do to make sure that we are continuing to read. So stay tuned for that exciting little bit of tidbit of information. But until then, I will share that with you again, as I said, next time. So continue to read, my friends. Stay safe, and I can't wait to see you again. Have a great day.